New tonight, another twist in a bizarre Airbnb battle. 7 News has exclusively told you about a homeowner in Northeast DC who says a squatter has taken over her short-term rental. But that alleged squatter claims she's a tenant with rights. All new at 6 o'clock. Our Felicia Ashley is learning this isn't the first time the so-called unwanted guest has refused to leave a property.
I found court records revealing that Romero stayed in multiple properties in and around D.C. rent-free for months while they went through the eviction process.
Court records show at your previous apartment you were also getting evicted for not paying rent. And
so that wasn't for that place, it was for a previous place where something happened during COVID when everyone was not receiving payment. I'm an entrepreneur and I also have a nonprofit.
Court records show Shadija Romero faced eviction from 2 other D.C. properties before booking Roshane Douglas's Airbnb.
Yeah, this is what we called a professional tenant. All right. So those are people that just bounce around from apartments to apartments, and they're basically playing the system, because if you can get into an apartment and you're able to play the game, especially in different states like in Texas, they won't be able to get away with it because the eviction process is a lot faster. However, in some other states, like in DC, it could take months. So like in this situation, it took over 10 months. So if she's doing, a year lease, she stays in the property, pays just 1 month rent and stays for 10 months, she pretty much got a year's worth of rent for just 1 month. And she keeps doing that repeatedly, and they caught up to her, and she's trying to pretend like she yeah, right.
Nearly a year ago, I reviewed the records with real estate attorney Rich Bianco.
Scrolling down the docket here, she knows what she's doing. So this isn't the first rodeo.
Court records show that in October 2021, she had a year lease at the Jameson at Dakota Apartments. Those owners also filed a suit against Romero. It shows she stayed months past the end of her lease and did not pay anything between May 2022 and January 2023.
Damn. May 22 to January. That's literally like a good 9 months or something like that. And this is exactly what it is. People are just playing the game. No payments from this lady. So for those who haven't caught up yet, so this is from the Jameson case. She basically is based out of DC, and I think the situation was that she booked an Airbnb at this lady's house, and it became national news basically, where she booked it for 32 days and she was paying about $100 a month. And what happened was, if you stay 30 days or more in a place, it's no longer considered short term. It switches to long term. And in some states, without even a lease, it could automatically turn into a tenancy agreement. So this is exactly what this girl did. She booked a stay for 32 days just to be able to claim that tenancy agreement. Whether or not she had an agreement signed or not, if someone stays 30 days or more, there's a very good chance, depending on what state they stay in, that it becomes a tenancy agreement automatically. And if it does, then you're talking about, lease terms and having to evict the person, even though it was an Airbnb stay. So lesson learned for me going forward, there's definitely no one that's going to book my Airbnb and stay more than 30 days. I'm not doing that anymore. I've had some people ask about it, but I'm not going to do it. So she was paying it for $100 for 30 days. And then once the Airbnb thing was done, they had an agreement for her to stay and she would pay separately. And of course they did that on purpose so that Airbnb is not involved in this anymore. And she just never paid. And because she was sort of under the tenancy agreement, the landlord had to go through the eviction process, which is what this is all about. So in this video, they're kind of investigating her history, seeing that she's been doing and playing the game for a long time as a professional tenant, and she's getting caught for this.
She also signed a legal agreement to pay the Jameson $35,000 in back rent, but she did not follow through with that agreement. She was officially evicted 8 months after she stopped paying.
I did not go to court for eviction for Ava Noma.
5
Yeah,
days
right.
after she was evicted from the Jameson, records show she moved into Ava Noma. She paid 1 month's rent and owes them nearly $50,000. The
50 grand, 50 stacks. I mean, that must have been a very nice apartment. Damn. 50K in just 1 year. So February to October, and she only paid 1 month rent. She's playing the game, man. So she got evicted or was about to get evicted at this one place. 5 days after that, she got into another place and she stayed there for months without having to pay for a damn thing. And then right after she was about to get evicted, she booked this Airbnb with this lady, and she's been there for 10 months from February through, end of the year. And this is basically the court giving a decision on the eviction, and she's finally getting evicted. But yeah, once you dig into her past, you realize that she is definitely a professional tenant playing the system.
property tried to evict her multiple times, but there was a fire, which I confirmed with DC Fire and DMS started in her unit while she was there.
Ava Noma is the one showing that you were in the process of being evicted for paying 1 month's rent when you were there for 13.
So no, that would not be accurate.
Again, court documents show Romero filed a motion to delay the eviction, this time citing the fire and saying insurance needed to see the damage in the unit. She booked the Airbnb as she was getting evicted from that property. I found multiple tenant and landlord cases against her in and around DC when she went by a different name at the time. In addition to that, I saw at least a dozen liens against her, as well as a case claiming that she paid for a down payment for a vehicle and made no other payments after that. Now, since these discoveries,
Yeah, the girl is just playing the system. This is messed up. So she's in the habit of, she's a professional consumer. That's basically what it is. Professional tenant, professional consumer. She's buying a car, leasing a car, and basically barely making any payments, which I think is messed up. I don't know why people are so lazy. Why are you lazy? Because there's a video where she's talking about all the charities and all the things that she's doing. Like she's capable of working, capable of earning income, and yet she's doing this crap where she's just trying not to pay for stuff, which I don't get. Like, why are people doing this? And then she wants people to have sympathy for her. So no, it's not gonna happen. And that's the reason why she got evicted, and they're getting all her stuff out. The judgment went through, she's getting evicted, and the landlord and the owner, who's just about to walk in, that's the owner right here, she got the judgment on the very same day. The judge told her she has the ability to evict her if she wants to, and what does she want to do? And of course, as you can see, she didn't waste no time. She was very quick to say, girl, get the heck out. And she didn't even care. She literally just put everything out in the front door. If it gets stolen, if it gets rained on, that's her problem. That I just don't understand why people do this though. It's like, and the funny thing is that for those out there that are doing Airbnb, this is a lesson to learn, okay? And try not to do 30 days or more stays, because if you're not careful and you're in the wrong state, it might affect you. And there are some people that play this game. And unfortunately, if you get a tenant like this, you're going to have to go through the system. And that's just what it is. It's crazy, man.
the judge upheld this agreement that I previously reported on. The homeowners had Romero sign it in October, but she didn't follow through. The homeowners agreed to pay her to leave their property. And in black and white, Romero confirmed she was a short-term Airbnb guest, not a tenant, that there is no lease, no tenancy, and that she has no tenant rights.
This is crazy. So you can hear that the landlord, which is the owner, was open to paying her to get the hell out of the house. And this is what they call cash for keys. Some landlord, when they have a squatter in your house, they would literally offer them cash for them to get out or to move out. And that's exactly what she did here. And it looks like the lady signed it but never went through with it. But the issue and what messed her up was that she basically ended admitting that she was a short-term Airbnb guest, not a tenant, and that's what screwed her up. And because of that, she was, you know, forced to get out of the house. She messed up a little bit on that part.
The judge said you can evict her right now. What are your plans? What are you about to do?
Evict her.
Damn.
She has to go. I need her out of the property so that I can try to regain the property and get back to my life.
And that is what you're seeing happening right now. That is what the homeowners got right to after that order was filed. You can see some of the home, or actually most of the home, is rather clear now. Now, coming up at 6, I'm going to share more details about what happened in the courtroom. Also about how this has impacted the homeowners long term. Now, because of the missed payments, their mortgage raised from $4,000 a month to nearly $10,000 a month because of what they endured during this process. And more was revealed about Romero inside the courtroom. For now, reporting live from Northeast DC, Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
All right, Felicia, thank you. And this story has been getting a lot of attention. People are invested in the story. We're seeing strong reaction from folks here in the DMV. Take a look, just a handful of the comments. We've had hundreds on YouTube, in our YouTube page. We've gotten on this continuing coverage, people expressing concern over why the woman was able to stay so long, as well as support for the homeowner. One viewer writing, quote, "I have never been so happy for a stranger in my life. She is finally going to get her property back." So we want to hear from you. Do you think DC should change its housing laws to prevent squatting? Scan the QR code on your screen to vote right now. The answer right now, very overwhelming, yes.
That is crazy. So this is really crazy. So what are your thoughts? And comment below as far as, do you think DC needs to come up and update their rules and their laws? Because I just don't understand how a stranger can come into your house and then stay there for months, not having to pay a damn thing, and yet you are still responsible for the mortgage payment. And then even worse, if you try to cut the utilities off or whatnot, you're not supposed to. So if you had an Airbnb and then they move in and they stay or whatnot, you cannot, basically the law says, or the rules are, you have to keep everything the way it was until the judge concludes on what to do. So some people get a free place, free utilities. My question to you is this: if you own the property and someone stayed there for 10 months and never paid a penny, what would you do? What would you do? Like, seriously. And let me see. It's like, it's insane. I don't know why people do that. I really don't know why people do that. It's like you're messing up someone's life and you have no care in the world whether or not, it's going to affect you, it's going to affect them or anything like that. It's just, I just feel sorry for that landlord. But I'm glad that she moved out. And having said that, for those that own properties out there, be careful. Make sure you keep, make sure you cover yourself. Make sure you know what the laws are in your state. Make sure that you speak with a real estate attorney if needed. If you end up in a situation where somebody is in there, don't waste time, because time is not in your favor. So make sure as soon as you realize that you have a problem, get an attorney and get all the information you need so you can gather all the proper documents you need so that you can get this person out of your house. You hear me? So that being said, thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys in the next episode.